Thank you for having me. I'm just delighted to be here and to be able to tell my son's story, which is an amazing story. His name is Naquil Jamal Booker, and I'm here on behalf of him. He was diagnosed with cancer called Ewing's sarcoma, which is a bone and muscle cancer in 2007, May 7th, 2007 to be exact. Naquil was a free spirit, loved people, very encouraging, and just loved to give back to people. Right. May 7th changed our life, of course. We got the news that he had cancer. He did 7.5 months of intense chemotherapy. But during that time, they told me my son wouldn't be able to comprehend, that he would lose weight, and that he would just, things wasn't looking good. However, in that time, Naquil gained 12 pounds. He remained a straight A student. He never missed school. He went to school even extended day. He was on the chess team, and things were looking great. Then, about 1.5 years later, 2009, we found out that the cancer spread it to his lungs. He had a tumor next to his heart that the doctors were afraid of, but not once did Naquil complain. Never once did he say, why is my life like this? For some reason, he just knew that his life was to encourage other people and that he wasn't worried, although we were. He still remained to go to school. He still was a straight A student. And then once again, we thought we were done with cancer. He went through intense chemotherapy. He went through radiation. And then in 2011, the cancer spread it to his brain. So by this time, of course, my husband and I were pretty much done with the whole cancer idea. And I left the hospital emotionally distressed. And I left my son with my husband. And my son said to my husband, Dad, I thought this was cancer, but I didn't want to believe it. But don't worry about me. I'm a champion. I'll survive this. They scheduled him for emergency surgery the very next day. And Naquil looked at his dad and said, Dad, I'm not going to surgery tomorrow. This was for brain surgery. He said, I'm going to school. I want to talk to my friends first. So we arranged that, and he went home. He went to school the next day. He attended mathematics, civics, and science charter school. And he went to the founder, Miss Veronica Joyner, and said, listen, I need you to call an assembly of all the 8th graders. I need to talk with them. So he went before his whole 8th grade class, and he explained to them that the cancer had spread it to his brain. But his words was, the cancer has spread to my brain, but don't worry about me. Pray for me. I'll be back to school by Tuesday. I picked him up that evening. We went and checked him into the hospital. He went in for surgery on that Friday morning. They thought that it was going to be a problem because he had tumors with his lungs, so they thought the respirator would give him some trouble. Lo and behold, instead of his surgery being 4.5 hours, it was 2.5 hours. In recovery, the post-op nurse came in and checked his head where he had the scar from the incision. And she was so surprised because Naquil had already scabbed. Naquil was actually discharged from Children's Hospital the very next day after brain surgery. Wow. He was back in school by Wednesday and back in the back playing football by Friday. Wow. Naquil loved people. One Thanksgiving, he and I actually cooked Thanksgiving dinner for the whole oncology floor in CHOP because he felt that the people who couldn't go home wouldn't feel that it was Thanksgiving. So he didn't cut me a break because I had to cook for home. But he wouldn't even let me do it a day before because he said, Mom, it won't seem the same. It needs to be Thanksgiving Day. But he always worried about everyone else opposed to himself. Again, never complaining, never wondering why his life was the way it was. Actually, he told me, Mom, I know why my life is this way. It's this way to encourage others. And he did that. Then in 2000,